Please be seated, everybody. Well, firstly, a really very warm and sincere welcome from myself, from my council colleagues and college staff to this glorious place, the Royal College of Physicians of Edinburgh. My name's Andrew Elder. I'm a geriatrician. I had to be with a name like Elder. And I've got the honour of being the current president of this college. Diploma ceremonies are always joyous and special occasions, being as they are a celebration and commemoration of a significant and substantial life achievement, in this case, passing the membership. You only do that once in your lives. But this ceremony, I'd suggest to you, is particularly special given the extraordinary times in which we are living. I know some of you passed the membership a while back, and the pandemic has delayed this ceremony for you. So I do hope that anticipation helps build the pleasure of this evening. So, a hearty congratulations to you all from all of us. It's a real delight to have you and your family and friends present here in the room, and many, many more joining online. We like to make the ceremony available online too, so that families all across the world can watch what's happening. So I hope everybody does enjoy the whole occasion. But whilst we're here to celebrate and commemorate, I'm sure we're all thinking of the world outside our windows and all that is going on there. And particularly perhaps the ongoing conflicts in Ukraine, Myanmar and Sudan. One of our diplomats today graduated in the Ukraine, and we have many, many connections and very good friends in Myanmar and in Sudan. And I'm certain you all share our support for those medical communities at this particular time. I'm sure too you'll have noticed my colleagues in the chairs behind me. They are those of our council who were able to attend today. And I'd like to ask them to come up to the podium here and introduce themselves one by one, starting with Dr. Conor Maguire. Conor.
Hello, good afternoon and congratulations. My name is Conor Maguire. I am also a consultant geriatrician. I'm based here in Edinburgh, and I'm the Vice President with the international remit, because we are indeed an international college with half of our fellows and members based outside the UK. If you see me using my phone every so often, that'll be because I'll be tweeting. Thank you.
Hi everybody, my name's Kerry Baker and I'm Director of Education here at the college. I'm a consultant acute physician in NHS 5 and I have had the privilege of working alongside several of the successful graduates here today, so delighted to see you all here. Thank you.
Good evening everyone and welcome to the college. My name's Catherine Labinjo. I'm a heart doctor, a cardiologist. I work in Forth Valley and I'm the elected member on council representing Forth Valley and Tayside.
Hi everyone, I'm Johnny Guckian. I'm a dermatology skin doctor in Leeds. I'm the co-chair of the Trainees and Members Committee, and you're going to hear a lot more from me in a wee second, so I'm not going to spoil any of it.
Hello, welcome and congratulations. I'm your third geriatrician of the evening, so if you're getting older, you're hopefully going to be in good hands. Congratulations. I work in NHS Borders.
Hello, I'm Kerry Flynn. I'm a member of the Lay Committee at the college, so I'm here to say congratulations to all the non-doctors in the room for all the hard work you put in supporting them.
Hello, I'm Kevin O'Kane. I'm a consultant acute medicine at St Thomas's in London. Welcome, congratulations, and Eid Mubarak.
Welcome and congratulations. My name's Nij Barlow. I'm a consultant physician and gastroenterologist at the Queen Elizabeth Hospital in Birmingham. So I've also travelled up from south of the border. It doesn't feel like that long ago that it was my own ceremony, and I hope this marks the beginning of your a great long-standing relationship with the college. So congrats again.
Hello, warm welcome to the college. I'm Jane Wallace, the 4th geriatrician. I work in Northumbria.
And hello, I'm Caroline Whitworth, and I'm not a geriatrician. I'm a renal physician, and I work here in Edinburgh, and welcome.
Hello, I'm Rod Harvey. I'm the Director of Examinations for the college, and you'll be hearing quite a lot more from me later on. I'm a consultant endocrinologist and acute medicine physician, and I work in Inverness up in the north of Scotland. Congratulations.
So thanks all. Connor mentioned that he might be tweeting. Patricia Cantley is very, very modest. Many of you who use Twitter might recognise her as Trisha the Doc, with 60,000 followers. I told you she was modest, okay. We're going to talk for a wee bit now, just about the college. And the first perspective, you're going to hear a perspective from a trainee and then a perspective from me. So I'd like to invite Dr. Johnny Guckian, who you've just met, to say a few words about the trainee's perspective on the college. Johnny.
Thank you, Prof. Elder. Welcome again, everyone. And I just want to take this opportunity to say congratulations again. Honestly, it hasn't been that long since I was sat in the chairs you're sat in now. I think I was one of the last ceremonies before everything went to pot. And honestly, it's a celebration of years of work that you've put in. So you will remember this night for a long, long time. So really savour it. I'm here to talk to you about the trainee perspective within the college, and specifically the trainees and members committee that we have. And when you consider a college, you've got to think, well, what is a college for? What does a college do for you? And in considering this, I wanted to talk about the past, the present, and the future of the college. So if you go all the way back to the college laws and the college charter, the purpose of the college is to consolidate the medical profession, elevating its character and dignity, and encouraging and advancing medical learning and science. I feel like you probably all did that in paces, so well done. So as we go through this chat I'll have with you, just consider that and whether this is something we have been continuing to embody. Looking back to the past, of course, there is the great heritage with the college, its fantastic history. And looking back to 1681, when we were formed, you can see the amazing building, which the college was formed under the reign of Charles II by Robert Sibbald, who was the first president. So there's some great history, and I would encourage you to have a look around the college and take this opportunity today and in the future to come back to the college as well. We've obviously got our great library and the pharmacopoeia, which Prof. Elder is going to talk to you about shortly as well. So it's important that we do consider our history as a college because it informs our present and our future. But our present has been tumultuous. Things aren't all that easy at the moment. We've had all of the trauma of the pandemic and trying to pick up after that. We've got the cost of living crisis and the difficulties that we endure. We're a nation and a world that is under-doctored. And efforts must be taken to combat that. And that, in the UK, has culminated, alongside a lot of other things, a real febrile atmosphere and renewed questions as to the purpose of colleges and postgraduate medical education currently. This is a celebration, so I'm trying not to depress all of you, so I'm going to talk about some happy things now. That's the negative stuff. But it's an opportunity to reflect and think, what makes a college? Well, for the TNMC, we sat down a few years ago to consider our values. And what does the TNMC mean? Well, we try to be inclusive because we have a wide range of trainees and members from across the world. And we do loads of good work for you because we are there for you. We try to put patients at the centre of everything we do. We aim to be environmentally responsible, and as part of that, be future-focused, looking at what's coming next on the agenda in postgraduate med-ed. And as much as anything, we want to be accountable for our actions and for the actions happening within the medical community. but we're also good crack. We've got a nice team in our committee. They're a bit blurry there, but those are the people who were committed to putting themselves on, put their cameras on in our last committee meeting, which can be quite challenging. But that's not just what happens within the college or what happens in terms of the people of the college, because people make a college. We also have our regional representatives from across the UK, and we have regional representatives from across the world too. But what do we do? So the actions of a college can say a lot about it. Well, within the TNMC, we have 3 work streams. We work on education, we work in careers and communications, and we try to represent you. So you might recognise our evening medical updates. This is something that we try to deliver a high quality of medical education delivery across a range of clinical and non-clinical topics from around the world and to an audience globally. And that is a global audience, so being part of the TNMC would mean that you would get to genuinely contribute to, chair, and help deliver these sessions, which are attended by thousands of people around the world. We have a really amazing podcast team, and if you haven't checked out our podcasts already, I do recommend you take a look, take a listen. You can get the QR code there, and they're quite popular. And again, topics are generally chosen by trainees for trainees and try to be relevant and accessible as well. These have progressed into conversations about careers, a career conversations podcast, because the future can sometimes look murky for trainees, and the uncertainty is quite a common feature at the moment. So the career conversation podcast tried to shine a bit of a light on the career pathways within our systems. We try to be active in social media, maybe not as active as Trish, but we're getting there, that's the aim. So please do follow us on Instagram and on Twitter. We really could use the followers, but honestly, this is essentially the shop floor of medical education at the moment. This is where trainees are going. So we really need you to help us, so we can listen to you and listen to what matters to you, so we can best fit our actions around that. Within representation, we work with a variety of different bodies in the UK and by extension across the world, including the BMA, who are quite busy at the moment, to be honest, the JRCPTB, the Academy of Medical Royal Colleges, and the GMC, alongside a variety of other committees that we sit on. So being part of the TNMC means that you get to shape policy. You get to feed back. All those frustrations you've had about things that might have happened in your medical career so far, you get to do something about that. It's not always easy. There's a lot of compromise, but it can be really satisfying when something comes together. But you might be thinking, as a lot of people do, what does a college ever do for us? Okay, we haven't done quite as much as the Romans, but I wanted to tell you about some of the things that the TNMC have done this year, at least, or over the last couple of years where I've been co-chair. We continue to advocate for evidence-based recruitment strategies. So I don't know if you've heard of the MSRA exam. There was chat about that coming into the IMT curriculum for starting IMT, and we helped put a stop to that by arguing for evidence-based med-ed. We're about to put out a survey on less than full-time working and the lived experience of those who are less than full-time. I've been less than full-time. It's a really amazing opportunity, but also can be a difficult experience. We're literally about to press go on that survey, so when it comes through, please, please, please do it. It'll be really helpful, and we'll be able to put the changes that come through from that, recommendations, come through that into action to make less than full-time a better experience for you. We're continuing to fight for study leave reforms to make study leave better, more accessible, and give you more agency within that to choose the study leave that you want to choose and make things affordable. There's been a big merger recently between Health Education England and NHS England. We're working on making sure that you guys know what that actually means, because that's been quite challenging. We know that exam disruption happens. It's one of those things that often gets talked about in the same conversation as colleges. We want to listen to you and the frustrations that you might experience with regards to that, and communicate the reasons behind that. Be accountable, like we said. And we want to continue to support foundation doctors. But that's not enough. We want to do more. We need you to do that. So we want to support SAS doctors. We want to listen more to via social media to doctors in the UK, but also around the world, because we represent people all over the world. We want to action the research we talked about and listen full time. We want there to be transparency and accountability in MedEd, and we want to hold medical education leadership and ourselves to account. So in doing so, we want to move from being reactive, so when bad things happen in MedEd, just to react to that, to looking forward, looking to the future, and trying to anticipate the problems that may happen or the opportunities that may occur, both here and abroad. So with that in mind, I would ask you to reflect on what kind of college that you want. And when considering the past and the present of the college, we should look to the future. And I'm looking at the future of the college. It's you. So I would take this opportunity to ask you all to think about joining the TNMC, because in doing so, you can really make a difference to the future of MedEd. And hopefully, in doing so, you can help consolidate the medical profession, elevating its character and dignity, and encouraging and advancing medical learning and science. Thank you, and please follow us on social media.
So Johnny, thank you very much for that, and thanks for all that you and your colleagues do on the Trainee and Members Committee. So I'm going to take you through a few slides now as well, talking a bit about the past of the college and again a bit about the present and future. I wanted to speak first about our examinations, the exam that you've just sat. The image on the left there, the colourful image, shows apparently how the clinical examination looked in London about 250 years ago. Those of you who've sat PACES will know that the examiners do not now wear wigs. We've got rid of that bit of it. Apparently, the only candidate in the room is this guy. Yeah, standing here. So it was kind of looks like a real ordeal. I know PACES can be an ordeal, but you can see how much hopefully it's evolved over the years. On the right here, this is a written paper from the Edinburgh membership when it was a separate exam back in 1894. And I want you just to notice the types of questions or the diseases that the questions were being asked about. Peripheral neuritis, ascending paralysis, of course that's syphilitic, phthisis, which is the chronic wasting form of tuberculosis, acute tuberculosis, on the right here, hemoptysis, the management of hemoptysis, typically at that time, bronchiectasis and TB, and climatic treatment. So that was there was a big debate raging at the time about whether or not particularly young people with tuberculosis should be nursed indoors or outdoors. Many hospitals had outdoor areas that beds could be moved into. So I show it you that way to make two points for you. One that I've put here is that the colleges have ran examinations of one sort or another, the three colleges of physicians in the UK, in London, Edinburgh and Glasgow, for a long, long time. But we came together in the 1970s to deliver the exam you've sat, created jointly by these three colleges. But the second point, and the purpose of me showing you the material that candidates were tested on, was to try and make the point to you that the purpose of what we put in the exams is to help drive better patient care. I know that sometimes questions in part one might not feel that way if they're about the difference between Gittelman's and Barter syndrome or some such, but that, there's a lot of thinking goes into that. What we ask about is to try and help you learn material that will ultimately improve patient care. All the exams, the three-part exam that you've sat, of course, are complementary in the UK to workplace-based assessments, and as you know, you have to pass them to get on in the UK. What about outside the UK? They're mandatory, as I've said, in the UK. Well, these are actually colleagues from Khartoum in the Sudan, and I'm glad I've got that image for us today, given, as I've said, all that's going on there. But our exams are very relevant around the world, simply because many countries produce many medical graduates, but there isn't then structured training for them to go into. So sitting the MRCP UK exam gives a framework for for training. It's not the same as going through a structured training programme that as you in the UK are doing, but again, it creates a framework. It adds something that currently isn't there in some countries, and thus again drives standards of care in many countries of the world. I think people sometimes don't realise the global reach of the examination, MRCP UK, that you've just sat and passed. These are all the countries in the world where the exam can be sat. Those in blue, you can only sit the writtens there. Those in red, you can sit the writtens and the clinical paces. So, you know, a huge global reach for the exam for the reasons that I've said. Some of these countries have multiple centres. India, for example, now has 9 PACES centres, just to give you an idea of the demand that there is to sit the examination that you've all just passed. So in total, about 26,000 candidates a year sit these exams. MRCP is easily the biggest postgraduate examination in internal medicine in the world. It's also, I would strongly argue, and my background is in exams, the toughest, and the most highly regarded. The biggest comparator are the American boards, but they're different in 2 regards. One is that I know from experience of seeing content that membership is a tougher exam. Part 1 and Part 2 writtens are tougher than the American boards, so well done for getting through that part of it. And of course, the US system has no clinical skills exam at all. Okay, clinical skills are only assessed in the workplace. So you've passed a very, very difficult exam. And for that reason, I would emphasise our congratulations to you, and do be proud of the letters you've now got after your name, because wherever you go in the medical world, MRCP UK means something. So please take pride in achieving it. A bit now about the college. As you've heard, we were founded by Royal Charter under the reign of the prior King Charles. We're on to King Charles III now, so King Charles II granted the charter in 1681. Johnny showed you a later version of the charitable purpose. There's the original charitable purposes that was laid out in that ancient charter. Again, similar meaning, promoting the science of medicine in order to improve the practice of that science. When we think about why the college was formed, this is the way I like to summarise it for you. There were 3 clear driving forces. The first was plants. Physicians of that time had to be botanists as well. They had to curate and collate the details of plants and work out how they could be used medicinally. And there's 3 ways that that's reflected, really. The first is that one of our first presidents, as well as helping found the college, founded the Royal Botanical Gardens of Edinburgh, illustrating the link with plants for you. The second is that they had then a physic garden. We've still got the remnants of one that you'll see on your tours of the college, and in that they were growing digitalis, foxglove to make digitalis. They had to do that. And then third, and as Johnny has mentioned, they created the first pharmacopoeia, the first recipe book, or BNF if you want, showing how you used plants in medicinal fashion. The second big driver to the creation of the college here in Edinburgh was a recognition of health inequality. There was no Royal Infirmary of Edinburgh in 1681, and this letter here that I show you is from 1682, the following year after foundation, when a group of fellows agreed that the disparities in health across the city were so poor that they needed to do something about it. So they formed a group to visit the sick with no charge in their own homes. So a clear vision then of the problem of health inequalities and the need to try and improve standards of care for all patients. And then the third driver is books. You'll see again tonight when you go around the college one or more of our fabulous libraries. And when you see these libraries, you'll recognise that they were the internet of their times. If you needed to know something, you went to where the library was. So the college collected books. We have many precious books in our collection and now have Scotland's oldest medical library. We can express our places where we are geographically in a couple of ways that I'll show you. These are the various buildings we've occupied in Edinburgh, starting up in the Old Town in a close, a narrow alley called Fountain Close, and moving to another building that no longer exists, and then ultimately into this building. And this is the new library that you'll see later on, and the conference hall that you're sitting in now. But I think it's actually much, much more important these days to represent the college geographically in this way. Our places are where you are. And I show you here quite simply the flags of the countries in which you all graduated. Yeah, I hope I've got them all. Somebody will probably point out to me afterwards that I missed one. But for those of you who are into flags, I'm sure you've all appreciated this one. Particular one here is Malta. So we are an international organisation now. We happen to be based in this relatively small town, in a relatively small country in Northern Europe, but we are a global organisation. As Johnny said, we invite you to join with us. The next wee bit of this talk is really about what these standards have become. How can we represent what we do now through those three broad streams of plants, standards, and books. Well, we no longer have to curate plants. We still, as I've said, have a physic garden. But I think plants are best represented in our work on heritage. And please do have a look at the heritage pages on the website. We've got some fantastic material there. Most recently, we created some Edinburgh medical walkabouts, so virtual tours of Edinburgh. That was when people were finding it difficult to visit during the pandemic. And we also have a relatively small at the moment exhibition centre. The exhibition that's on there at the moment is about skin. But we're just about to again museum accreditation status, and that will enable us to expand even further our heritage work. And slides seem to be stuck. I heard hang fire from the back there. Sorry. Okay, I think that's correct. Thanks now. So standards, well, standards is easy to translate to the present because that's a large part of what we do. We set and uphold standards of patient care through the creation of curricula, as I've described already, the exams, which we not only devise the content for, but we set the passing standard. And that's really, particularly in the UK, if you think about it, with a state-controlled monopoly health provider, the fact that the profession sets the curriculum, sets the standard for exams, is something very precious and worth holding on to. We help to oversee training in the UK, and we do our best with 3 UK governments and one executive in Northern Ireland to influence healthcare policy through the means that I show you there below. For example, this week I've been to Stormont to speak to politicians in Northern Ireland about helping to support care there. And then finally, what about books? Well, I think books translates best now into our work on education. And there's just a broad idea of the various ways that we provide education. I'd stress it's not just professional education. We provide public education as well. Within the professional education that we do, medical students and FY1s and 2s around the world can access everything we do free, so please spread the word about that. We have a number of grants that we offer. We have our own journal. We have a couple at the moment of MSc programs and micro-credentials, and we offer a number of medals, awards and prizes. I'm not going to dwell on this. I just wanted to give you some idea of the scale of what we do in the education department, led by Dr. Kerry Baker. who's behind me here. We have a very successful series of podcasts led by our trainees, a large number of web-streamed lectures, and we like to stress this bubble up here. During the pandemic, we very quickly created an online micro-credential for physicians who were caring for patients with COVID, who may not have looked after patients with such intense needs for a while. And there were over 50,000 users of that around the world. How do we do all that? And I'm coming towards the end of what I want to say. Well, there's our 4 income streams that I lay out to you as clearly as I possibly can there. But the most important text on that slide is in bold, in black, at the bottom. We have absolutely no funding from government, and we don't look for it, nor big pharma, nor any commercial funding, nor any direct funding from the NHS. And that's, again, precious, because that buys us professional autonomy and independence to say what we wish about the state of healthcare and to create, as I've said already, the curricula and the exams that we believe the profession should be setting its standards against. So if you're asked what colleges do, well, there's some boxes for you that I hope both Johnny and I have stressed. But I would stress an additional one down in the bottom corner here, that particularly at a time when the profession is so stressed, I would argue that organisations like colleges are really part of the glue that can hold the fabric of the profession together by sustaining a sense of community in medicine, not just in the UK, but around the world. 3 final slides just to highlight some things that are on our minds. There are lots of things on our mind. We fully appreciate, because almost all of us are working in the NHS, how tough it is. You know, we get it. We know that we have to fix workforce and workplace issues. We know that we can only look after our patients in the way that we want if we look after each other and we look after ourselves. So that is a big part of our agenda with politicians at the moment. The second broad area that I wanted to stress to you was equality, diversity and inclusivity. Although we were founded in 1681, it took us until 1929 to get our first female fellow. That was Dr. Ella Pringle. I show you here the complexion, literally, of our council. And I hope you can see we've come a long way in terms of representation and diversity. But as I list at the side there, ED&I isn't just about counting numbers and making sure you've got the right number of people in each group or in each meeting. It's about how people feel and how easy they feel it is to engage with an organisation. So each and every one of you should feel equally welcome in this place, feel valued, and feel, as Johnny has said, able to contribute. This is my final slide, and it's a very familiar image for many of you. It's called The Doctor. Its full title is The Doctor in Our Times. As you can see, it was painted in 1891 by a guy called Luke Fildes. And he was commissioned by Tate of the Tate Gallery to create an image that represented what the doctor meant in that late 19th century British society. And as you can see, and you'll know from seeing it before, it shows the doctor here, with no paraphernalia, no stethoscope or anything, no equipment, just the person gazing intently at this child who's stretched across 2 chairs and is in fact a dying child. And in the background, there's 2 figures. One is the father standing watching, and the other is the mother, anticipating the grief that's about to come, it looks like. But what lots of people who see this image, I think, don't know is that the painter is the father. Luke Fildes devised this image on the basis of he and his own wife's experience of the decline and death of their 18-month-old child. And he painted it as a tribute to the devotion of the doctor, who spent many hours at the bedside in the presence of the parents, Even when it came to a point he knew he couldn't offer any specific treatment, he stayed. And Luke Fildes, the artist, said at the time, the character and bearing of the doctor throughout the time of our anxiety made a deep impression on us. All of your education to date as medical students and postgraduates and all the exams you've passed, including this one, the membership, have equipped you very well to be doctors. And the continuing education, the lifelong learning that will form a big part of your professional life will continue to do so. You've much knowledge and many skills, the skills to listen, to talk and explain, to assess through the power of your hands, your eyes and your ears, and to interpret all these increasing number of tests and images that get put in front of you. And lots of you will develop additional procedural skills. And every time you go to the bedside of a patient, you'll take all that knowledge and all those skills with you. But this image and the story behind it should remind us all that the most powerful tool in the doctor's bag was then and remains now our kindness and our compassion. Always take them with you to the bedside. They will serve you and your patients well. Thank you. So we're going to move on now to the bit you've all been waiting for, the presentation of the diplomas. Gilly and Rod, I think, yeah.
Okay. So our first diplomat today is Dr. Ayobami Adebayo, who qualified from Ife University in Nigeria and is currently working in Leicester. And Dr. Nabil Afzal, who qualified from Sargodha University in Pakistan, currently working in Dublin. Dr. Hassan Ahmed, qualified from Dow Medical College, University of Karachi in Pakistan, currently working in Leeds. Have you got someone up?
Sorry, they're not here, so it's Dr.
Right, sorry, this person hadn't attended. So, sorry, it's Dr. Yusra Amunalla, qualified from Rawalpindi National Institute Army Medical College in Pakistan, currently working in Liverpool. Dr. Nagasware Apalandu, qualified from Brighton University here in the UK, currently working in Nottingham. Dr. Manisha Arthur, qualified from Vellore University in India, currently working in Chennai. Dr. Arini Basu, qualified from Bangalore Rajiv Gandhi University in India, currently working in Kent. Dr. Anthony Beard, qualified from the University of Manchester in the UK, working in Clitheroe. And Dr. Amimala Bhattarachi, qualified from West Bengal University, Calcutta, India, working in Calcutta. Dr. Georgia Boone, qualified for the University of Dundee here in Scotland, working in Dundee. And Dr. Michael Brockway, qualified for the University of Leeds Medical School, working in Cambridge. And Dr. Zivzay Bazu, qualified from the University Medical School in Zimbabwe, currently working in Corby. Dr. Caroline Camilleri, qualified from the University of Malta Medical College, currently working in Malta. And Dr. Benjamin Crook, qualified from the University of Liverpool Medical School, currently working in Liverpool. And Dr. Paolo David D'Arenzio, qualified from Pisa University in Italy, currently working in London. And Dr. Andrew Duncan, qualified from the University Medical School in Dundee, currently working in Glasgow. Dr. Jan Engel, qualified from University Medical School in Vienna, Austria, currently working in Edinburgh. Dr. Johan Farial, qualified from Multan University Hospital, Lahore, Pakistan, currently working in Newcastle. And Dr. Terry Gill, qualified from the University of Liverpool Medical School, currently working in Liverpool. And Dr. Kim Song-go, qualified from Crimea Simferopol University in Ukraine, currently working in Kuala Lumpur. And Dr. Alice Hogg, qualified from the University of Aberdeen Medical School, currently working in Edinburgh. Dr. Harriet Hubbard, qualified from Southampton University Medical School, currently working here in Edinburgh. Dr. Saddam Hussain, qualified from the Khyber Medical College, Peshawar, Pakistan, currently working in Ireland. And Dr. Min Kay, qualified from the University of Edinburgh Medical School, currently working here in Edinburgh. Dr. Hamza Khan, qualified from Abbottabad Medical College in Pakistan, currently working in Liverpool. And Dr. Abdul Rahman Kolapo, qualified from Marin University Medical School in Nigeria, currently working in Stockton-upon-Tees. Dr. Beatrice Konama, qualified from Kumasi Medical College in Ghana, currently working in Aberystwyth in Wales. Dr. Emma Langen, qualified from the University Medical School in Nottingham, currently working in Nottingham. And Dr. Hannah Macaulay, qualified from the University of Dundee Medical School, currently working in Ireland. And Dr. Alexander McFarker, who I think qualified from Imperial College London and is currently working in Cambridge. And Dr. Alexander McGeechan, qualified from the University of Sheffield Medical School, currently working also in Sheffield. And Dr. Ian Maltman, qualified from the University of Dundee Medical School, currently working in Aberdeen. And Dr. Gerard Martin, qualified from the University of Cambridge in the UK, currently working in Aylesbury. And Dr. Sin Mong, qualified from the University of Mandalay Medical School in Myanmar, currently working in Farnborough. And Dr. Shadab Mohammed, qualified from Osmania Medical College, India, currently working in Hyderabad. And Dr. James Moore, who qualified from Sofia University Medical School in Bulgaria, currently working in Norwich. And Dr. Hannah Morgan, qualified from the University of Hull Medical School, currently working in Manchester. And Dr. Purity Njoroge, qualified from the University Medical School, Nairobi, Kenya, currently working in Kenya. Dr. Ogunavedi Okuma, qualified from University of Medical School, Nigeria, currently working in Middlesbrough. Dr. Ju Hao Ong, qualified from University Medical College in Dublin, currently working in Cambridge. Dr. Claire Phillips, qualified from the University of Newcastle upon Tyne Medical School, currently working in Newcastle upon Tyne. Dr. Emily Radford, qualified from the University of Leeds Medical School, currently working in Stepping Hill Hospital in Stockport. Dr. Thurka Rajeswaran, qualified from University King's College Hospital, London, currently working in Leeds. Dr. David Reed, qualified for University of Leeds Medical School, currently working in Leeds. And Dr. Vinita Ruparal, qualified from Masharata Medical College, Mumbai, India, currently working in Aberdeen. And Dr. Soham Sanyal, qualified from North Bengal Medical College, India, currently working in Kolkata. And Dr. Somanashi Segal, qualified from Manipal Kasturba Medical College, Manipal, India, currently working in Wolverhampton. And Dr. Nabiga Shah, who qualified from Rawalpindi University Hospital in Pakistan, currently working in Leeds. Dr. Siti Nurshashara Shamsul Akram, qualified from the International Islamic University of London, UK, currently working in Malaysia. And Dr. Rachel Smith, qualified from the University of Aberdeen Medical School in the UK, currently working here in Edinburgh. And Dr. Roel Thomas, qualified from Sohar Medical College, Muscat, Oman, currently working in Dubai.
And Dr. Gavin Walters, qualified from the University of Leeds Medical School UK, currently working in Ilkley. Dr. Maria Zureb, qualified from the University of Malta Medical School in Malta and is currently working in Malta. So now we're nearly at the end of the ceremony, but just at the end we have six special diplomats, because we have three couples. So we'll call them down one at a time, but they will stay together for their photographs, I believe. So it's Dr. Sophie Fox, who qualified at the University of Manchester, UK, and is currently working in Perth. And Dr. Aidan Hazelgrave, also qualified from the University of Manchester and is currently working in Dundee. And Dr. Ramya Janalgada, qualified from Kanchipuram Medical College, India, currently working in Yeovil, UK. And Dr. Venkatapalafam Molakapalli, currently working, who qualified in Karimbing, if I'll get this right, Karimanga University Medical College, Hyderabad in India, currently working in Yeovil. And our last couple, Dr. Hina Puranik, qualified from Nashik Maharashtra University Medical School in India, currently working in Darlington. And Dr. Aditya Puranik, qualified from Vrak Smolensk University, Russia, currently working in Darlington also.
So I really must apologise about these stairs. Yeah, we make you sit 3 very difficult exams, as I've emphasised, and then there's this kind of final hurdle of walking down these stairs. But despite that, it still felt like a joyous occasion to me. So that really concludes the formal part of the ceremony. I'd like to thank the very many staff in the college for all their work in making the event happen. Particularly Gilly, I don't know where Gilly's gone, for keeping me right almost perfectly there on the diplomas, apart from when I forgot. To Rod for reading the names as well. And in fact, it is Dr. Rod Harvey's last diploma ceremony. I'm not going to ask how many you've done, Rod, but just as a token of our appreciation for you, I wanted to present you with this little gift. And there is another person for whom it's the last ceremony they'll participate, and that's Johnny Guckian from our Trainee and Members Committee. Johnny's not that long been a father. I hope he won't mind me saying that, and is going to be giving just a wee bit more time to his young family. And we want to thank you again, Johnny, though, for all the work you've done for us in the college. And there is one very final thanks to a very special group. The medical career is a long and winding one, and none of us, myself included, could do it without the support of our loved ones, our friends and family. Passing the membership and attaining all these various other career milestones is often very much a family affair. So I'd like to ask the diplomats to join with myself and colleagues in Council in a round of applause to thank family and friends. Thanks. So there's now an opportunity to move outside, have some more photographs taken, as many as you want, with as many different people as you want, to have something to eat and drink, and have a look at some of the beautiful rooms and spaces and places here in this college. So hearty congratulations to you all again, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your visit to the college. College officer.